we go to the mall, or we go to the the farmer's market, whatever we like to do on the weekends. When we have idle time, we spend money. And especially in the early years of retirement, these are your go-go years, right? You're wanting to travel, you're wanting to get out and do things that you've never been able to do because you've been stuck at that job all these years. So you are, when you get later on in retirement, then yes, you might be spending a little bit less money. But for the first 10, 15, 10 years of retirement, you're going to be spending more money, and we want you to. We want you to be able to take those vacations. So we need to make sure that we build that in. And so really the takeaway is the key ingredient is a good retirement budget and an overall plan of where your money's going. And I'm doing my yearly reviews with clients, and so every year we're looking at expenses, we're looking at expenditures, and we're helping with where we cut things out. So it's very important. You are going to spend as much, if not more, in retirement most of the time, especially the first 5 to 10 years.
All right, so let's recap the assumptions again to avoid that you won't be working past 65, underestimating how long you're going to live, how much you're going to spend and how fast you're going to spend it, how much money you're going to pay in taxes on those retirement dollars, and we just talked about believing that you're going to spend less in retirement and believing you can live on less in retirement than you did while you were working. So again, those are the assumptions. Which of these, Trent, do you see the most walking into your office?
I see them all, but the one that we'll spend the most time on is how to spend the money and the budget. So, 4% rule, because a lot of people, they've got assets, they say 500,000, a million, 2 million, whatever the number is, but nobody's ever sat down and educated them and said, okay, you've been in the accumulation phase of your retirement, but you're about ready to enter the income phase, and it takes a different plan, a different mind, and different strategies when you enter that income phase. So I would definitely say I spend a lot of time educating people on how incomes come out and then the budgeting. Those two are the things that I spend the most time on the plan.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like these one-size-fits-all assumptions that we've been talking about today, is that just from a lack of a really comprehensive financial plan?
Yeah, people just haven't sat down and taken the time or sat down with an advisor. Maybe they don't have the experience to do it, to go get their overall financial plan. So a lot of people, they'll listen to what people at work say, they'll go Google it, whatever Google says, and the generalities are okay, but every client's different. I have 10 clients walk in and they have the same portfolio. I promise you I'm not going to walk out with 10 of the same, because I don't know their health, I don't know their kids, I don't know all the other things that go into it. So every plan needs to be customized, and that's when people really get a piece of
You know where your starting point, your building blocks, and then you start to create that plan, and that gets you to where you want to be. That's the retirement you've always wanted. Now listen, these are assumptions. You do not want to be doing these. The opportunity to talk about where you are in your planning process, and a lot of you out there might just be sitting on a portfolio. There might be just as many of you halfway down the path that need a second opinion. Listen up. The opportunity. Trent, walk us through these complimentary appointments.
Yeah, Morgan, these are what we call non-negotiables, and we look at them as pillars. And if you think about it, we would need 4 pillars to equally hold up a solid foundation. And as I'm breaking these pillars down, I want you guys to think about your own portfolio. And if it jogs something in you or sparks something, some curiosity, concern, give us a call. First thing we're going to talk about is fees. Our interests are aligned here. We want your fees as low as possible, just like you. Number 2, risk. We're going to probably spend the most amount of time on risk. Number 1, there's a lot of risk out there today. Number 2, interest rates are basically still very, very high from where they've been the last 40 years. So we can lock in high fixed rate strategies that give you guaranteed income in retirement, which is exactly what you want. So we'll talk a lot about risk. Number 3, taxes. But we're going to be dialed in on taxes more in your retirement years, because we want you paying the least amount of taxes when you're in retirement on that fixed income. And then last but not least is that income plan. This is my favorite part. This is where most people say they have never had an advisor or anyone do this for them, even clients currently working with advisors, okay? This is where I take every asset someone has, from their Social Security, their pensions, their real estate, all of their money and assets, 401ks. We figure out where they're at life-wise, where their family's at, and we pick the age that makes sense for them to retire, and then I show them exactly what their income is going to be year after year for the rest of their life, so they can confidently walk into retirement with no surprises.
Appointment available by calling 800-893-1719. We have 10 of them. They will fill up fast. We only have 10 for the week, carved out for our radio listeners. So call now and grab one of these. 800-893-1719. You'll talk about your fees, you'll talk about the risk, you'll talk about taxes. And again, you'll know the income you're going to get in retirement. That's all part of it. Call now, 800-893-1719. That's 800-893-1719. Get off procrastination's couch. Get moving on this. If you haven't started planning and you're sitting on a portfolio, this is ideal for you. If you're halfway down the path but you're frustrated, get a second opinion. Grab one of these appointments. 800-893-1719. That's 800-893-1719. Saving for retirement takes discipline. It takes sacrifice. And today, we're going to share some quotes that could inspire you to keep the discipline and embrace the sacrifice. That's when we return on Financial Fuel.
At Tribute Wealth Management, we believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. Our process begins with us listening. Take advantage of our complimentary retirement strategy session by calling Trent Miles, host of the Rock and Roll Retirement Hour and president of Tribute Wealth Management, at 800-893-1719, 800-893-1719.
Financial Fuel, hosted by Trent Miles. Tribute Wealth Management, where you can find him right here in California. The website is tributewealthmanagement.com. It's a resource for you. tributewealthmanagement.com. Click on the radio tab, and our shows are in podcast form. Trent's got 25 years experience in the financial services industry, helping his clients get ready for their retirement. It's all about the puzzle pieces, folks. Having them all, having them fit together. It could include estate and legacy planning, maybe a safe money strategy. How is Social Security and how you claim it fitting into your overall plan? What about the tax part of it? Most of us are in tax-deferred accounts when it comes to our savings, so make sure you have a tax plan. And, of course, health care, long-term care. It's all coming for us. Make sure you're planning for it. All right, so saving for retirement, it takes what? Discipline. It may take some sacrifice. And we want to talk today about just some quotes that might inspire you. And this first one, Trent, really, really well known. So it's words of wisdom, and it comes from George Foreman. The question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income. And every show that we have done, and we've been working together for quite some time now, every show we've done, Trent, you say, again, you end your offer with income and income plan. So this George Foreman quote, I'm surprised you might have it tattooed on your body somewhere.
If I believed in tattoos, maybe I would. But yeah, this is so cool. And I get questions all the time, Morgan, where people say, how much money do I need for retirement? That's an impossible question to answer. I don't know that. How much money do you spend? What's your budget? What's your health like? There's so many different, do you have dependents? Where's your mortgage? Is your home paid off? What's your debt look like? So it all goes into the financial plan, but he is right. It's not an age anymore, it's the number. And so when we're building that comprehensive plan, we're not just focusing on the investment, we're focusing on the fundamentals of the money. We're focusing on the budget and where the money goes and making sure that you're saving enough money. That's the thing. Don't worry about the age. I have clients that call that, they're retiring at 50 and 55. Some of them that have pensions, or some of them that have done well. Others are retiring in their 60s, and then I have some that, there's two types of people that are working till 70. One is the type of person they want to work. They love work, and they're there because they want to. That's a good place to be. And then there's clients that they have to work till they're 70 because they haven't planned accordingly, and they're still having to work. They need to get their Social Security money up as much as they can. We can help both things, but I'm telling you, the more we get dialed in on the early years and we get that saving going, then I can tell you at what age you can retire, because I'll have the comprehensive plan put together for you.
Yeah, hitting some quotes, inspirational, again, about discipline, about sacrifice. Again, George Foreman, the question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income. I think we all had a George Foreman grill at some point in our life.
I know I would.
But again, I mean, some wise words. The question isn't what age I want to retire, it's at what income. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a break from the quotes, but I wanted to kind of get a feel for what's coming into the office at Tribute Wealth Management. What's the buzz? What are the calls coming in about? What are people concerned about most?
Well, two things. Right now, obviously, they're really concerned about the market with everything that's going on. That's one thing. We feel like it's going to be, a little rocky in the beginning, but towards the end of the year, this thing is going to take off. And so we're not worried long term, but definitely short term, there's some volatility right now. But I would say that by and large,
Dr. D.
come
Sykes.
in is because they've got a lot of accounts. They've got a lot of good things going for them, but nobody has a plan. Nobody knows how they're going to take income, where they're going to take income, how
They
they
basically have a basket full of stuff.
exactly. And they're so confused. So they feel, on some parts of their portfolio they'll feel good, on others they don't. But because they haven't sat down and had a person go over an entire comprehensive plan that looks at everything, that is my favorite thing to do. Because once I take somebody's assets and I put it into we do a 2-page plan with every suggestion of what you should do. It's very simple. We look at everything from your health care to what you're going to have to pay in Medicare once you're retired. It's all built into your plan. Once people see that 2-page plan, that thing comes to, when I see the look in their eyes and they go, oh, I finally get this, and it's not as complicated as they thought, that is my favorite thing that I do. And what it does is it delivers peace of mind for my clients because they know they're going to be okay.
So important, just having the clarity, being able to take a look at everything you've acquired, your stuff, right, your retirement stuff, and see it right in front of you on how it's going to work for you, getting you to and through retirement. That again is that peace of mind that Trent talks so much about. The opportunity to get on the calendar with Tribute Wealth Management is right now. We've got 10 appointments. They are cost-free. That means no obligation. You're leaving the checkbook at home. Trent's going to tell us exactly how these appointments are going to go if you are fortunate enough to grab one of the 10. Trent?
Yeah, Morgan, like I said, this is my favorite part. I get to put these plans together for people. So these are what we call non-negotiables when clients come into our office. So we look at them as pillars. And if you think about it, we would need 4 solid pillars to equally hold up your financial foundation. And as I'm breaking these pillars down, I want you to your own portfolio. And if questions, concerns, comments come up, give us a call. You're going to get right on my schedule, and I love to help and put plans together for people. First thing we're going to do is talk about fees. Our interests are aligned here. We want your fees as low as possible. Same thing you want. More money stays in your account. So we both win there. Number 2 is risk. Now, we're going to spend a lot of time on risk. Number 1, I just mentioned it. There's a lot of risk out there right now. If you're of retirement age and you're about ready to switch, or you're already in retirement, we want to be looking at the risk in your portfolio. And it just happens that right now, interest rates are up. So we time this thing perfectly, because if we have debt, we don't like the interest rates being up. But if you guys have assets, which most of us have, right before retirement, we can switch some of those strategies to high interest fixed rate assets that are going to give you guaranteed income for life. It works amazing when it comes to income planning. Number 3, taxes. We're not as much going to be looking at taxes today. We're going to be dialed in on in retirement. We want you paying the least amount of taxes while you're on that fixed income. And then last but not least is the income plan. And this is something that almost everybody that comes in the door says they've never had done for them, even clients working with advisors right now. Okay, this is where I take every asset you have, Social Security, any real estate, if you have a pension, and we take your overall plan and we pick what age you're going to retire at. And then I show you exactly how much money you're going to have in income year after year, so you can confidently walk into retirement with no surprises.
Here's the phone number. 10 appointments. They're going to go fast, so jump on this right now. 800-893-1719. That's 800-893-1719. Exclusive for our radio listeners. Call right now. Secure one of the top 10. 800-893-1719. When we return, we'll talk about more discipline and embracing the sacrifice. We've got some great quotes for you. It's all coming up next on Financial Fuel.
At Tribute Wealth Management, we believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. Our process begins with us listening. Take advantage of our complimentary retirement strategy session by calling Trent Miles, host of the Rock and Roll Retirement Hour and president of Tribute Wealth Management, at 800-893-1719, 800-893-1719.
Retirement planning can be stressful, so our process is designed to put you at ease. At Tribute Wealth Management, we pride ourselves in being different from other financial planning firms. During your initial consultation, Trent Miles and his team will get to know you and give you the chance to get to know us. We want to learn all about your vision for retirement so that we can design a plan to help you achieve your long-term financial goals. Take advantage of our complimentary retirement strategy session by calling Trent Miles and the team at Tribute Wealth Management at 800-893-1719. Again, that's 800-893-1719.
Welcome back into Financial Fuel. Yeah, we're gassing you up for the week. Trent Miles, Tribute Wealth Management, the power behind the program. Check us out online, tributewealthmanagement.com. It's easy to remember, tributewealthmanagement.com. It's a great resource for you. There's a radio tab there. You can click on it. Our shows are in podcast form. Trent's got 25 years experience in the financial services industry, helping his clients get ready for their retirement. I'm Morgan Patrick. My pleasure each and every week to go back and forth on important retirement topics, discussions, get you thinking about your planning or maybe lack thereof. We'll give you an opportunity to take action on your own behalf. That means a complimentary appointment. You can call it any time. We only have 10 of them. We carved them out each week for our radio listeners. Grab one right now, 800-893-1719. We're going to go over fees in your portfolio. You'll talk about the risk level that you're at. How are you going to handle taxes? And of course, you'll get to know the income that you are going to be able to create once you get into retirement. Again, 800-893-1719 for one of those complimentary appointments with Trent Miles. All right, so we've been talking quotes. The first one was George Foreman. The question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income. We love that quote. And we also talked about some of the calls that are coming into the firm. What are people most concerned about? And right now, it's crazy time, so the phones are ringing. Trent and his staff are answering those phone calls and also reassuring everybody, look, you have a plan, you got it down, you're going to be a little bit more comfortable, a little more confident as you move forward to retirement. So another quote, we'll get your thoughts on this, Trent. Wealth is not about having a lot of possessions. It's about having a lot of options. And surprisingly enough, this is from comedian Chris Rock.
I love that quote because to me, that's what money does for people. It gives you options. It's not about saying I'm rich. It's not about driving this car. It's not about this. It's about if you have those assets, you have options. When things happen in your life, you have the money to go go make it happen. And so we've got to make sure. The reality is, if you want a choice of how you retire and how you spend your retirement years, then you need to make sure you have the money saved to have your flexibility. You know, California are good. A lot of people I work with, there's a lot of good savers out there. But if you're behind the 8 ball, prioritizing your retirement savings over purchasing non-essentials are basically